activities within the port environment under BMA, which is a Border Management Authority. I've got here with me Mr. Mabuza. Titi Mabuza is not the former deputy president anyway. It's he is a SARS branch manager, but he's Titi. And with me, I've got also Captain van der Merwe, who is actually from the South African Police Services within the port of entry. Thank you, Minister.
Okay. Which direction are we starting? That direction. So you're going to be addressing the minister as we are walking. All right.
Sorry, I think it is worth mentioning, Minister, that where we are standing now, it's called Sector 1. Sector 1 is actually where the trucks from we receive all the trucks and the travelers from the N17 towards the port. So we've got quite challenges. Some of the challenges that we had, Minister, it's actually the issue of the parking space for the trucks, because the space is not enough. It's very small, and at some point, due to the number of trucks that are incrementally increasing from time to time, we sometimes have congestions within the mouth of the port. And the reason for that, Minister, is that Minister, it is actually required for the trucks to do a pre-clearance prior to them arriving at the port. But most of the truck companies, they don't do that. They then, Minister, prefer to drive and come to the port without a notice to, report to port. And at some point, you find that trucks, they queue outside the port, and at night, it raises quite a lot of challenges. One of them being, looting from the trucks by, the members of the community, because it is a bit dark outside, and it is difficult to send members to go and patrol there when it is too dark, because we don't know what those people that are looting from the trucks, are having. But Minister, it is, I must just, say, Minister, thank you very much, Minister. We've seen, an upgrading of the N17, which is actually allay our fears. We also had a meeting with, some members from Sanral who came here. One of them was Mr. Baba Mia with Bab Mtembu. They came and engaged with us and informed us that they're going to, rehabilitate the N17, which will be, improved. And with that, we say thank you very much, Minister, because I remember at some point we had some discussion, deliberation with Minister at the time when Minister was still a DM. And Minister, we just want to thank you, Minister, because we see now that, something is coming. So we are quite excited about that, Minister. Thank you, Minister.
With that excitement, Minister wants to say something?
I think we've got maybe to engage between ourselves and the municipality as to who should put on the lights. Because I think one other thing that can help is to have lights along the road, so that the criminals, when they want to loot, but at least there's light. I think that can be one other measure that we can look at as to whether it is Sanral. If it is Sanral that has to do that, it will be very easy to put on the lights on the road, at least for a kilometer or so. Yeah, we can do that. But we're happy indeed the project is happening. And I want to believe that you already have a design around the area here. I was just looking at these houses that are on the road to the reserves. I don't know what Sanral is going to do about them, but they are just on the road reserves. That becomes a problem. And I think that's what municipalities also must help us, so that We don't allow people to build houses on road reserves, because if now you must remove these people, you've got to consider reimbursing them. And that takes money away from Central. We could be doing other things with that money. But actually, these houses here are definitely on the road reserves. And it is becoming a problem for us, not only on the road, but on rail again. People just build houses anyway. So I think that is a problem. But of course, the project has started. So yeah, and we work within time frames. Central works within time frames. If you don't perform, fire you up when somebody's going to perform. Thank you.
You can hold the mic. Mickey mic.
Yes. Thank you, Minister. This is actually the entrance gate of the freight trucks. They are using this, road. I will just ask Mr. Mabuza maybe to, allude to some of the, development and what is happening in this particular area, because it's actually it's mostly his, his space. Thanks, Minister.
Thank you. Minister, if I can just share with you, you see there's a camera there. It's part of what we call smart border. So instead of doing paperwork, we'll use what we call number plate recognition. As the truck comes with everything in order, it comes here, gets processed, then you go to immigration, you process, then you, within a matter of less than 5 minutes, you should leave the border. Thank you.
But what about what is inside? What about the freight itself?
Remember, the freight get declared at the hub. The declaration happened at the hub. If there is any stop for examination, it will be selected here. Then we'll push it down there on the side to do physical examination.
Yeah, but maybe what is also worth mentioning, Minister, is that we are having, a bilateral engagement with our counterparts on operational matters. Because, Minister, reason for that is to deal with issues of bottleneck. Because, Minister, no matter how best we improve our services on the South African side, if they do not actually, integrate on the Eswatini side and improve their system, it creates problems, because when there's congestion on their side, it has got a knock-on effect on our side. Most of the time you'll find that there's quite a lot of queue of the trucks on the South African side, but those trucks, they've been cleared. They're just waiting for papers to be processed on the Eswatini side. So we are having engagement with them on a monthly basis to try and resolve those particular issues. We even, Minister, went over to say, no, let us create a WhatsApp, a bilateral WhatsApp group for ourselves, between ourselves, so that when they are having system issues, they need to inform us, and then we can, at least, be aware as to what is happening, and we can also inform our clients as to what is causing these, slight delays. And we also agree with them to say, in the event their system are down, let them at least have a manual processes or manual releases, so that at least we do not have, quite a long, delays for our travelers and inconvenience them. Thank you, Minister.
Thank you very much. You know, the delays at our ports, be it port of entries or ports such as your Richards Bay, Durban and all that, the delays, they're actually killing our small and medium truckers. Yeah, because they depend on that one truck, going to the port, offloading, going back, and so on and so forth. Now, if it's going to take ages for it to do that, then they are not able to pay the driver to maintain the truck, to this and that and that and that, and therefore the system itself liquidates them. So I think it's something that is important for us to look into, to say, how do we speed up the process? And I know exactly what you're talking about. These are the issues that we're trying to discuss. We're going to Tanzania just this week. And I think amongst the issues that we'll be discussing, talk to harmonization of things in the region. So that what you get in South Africa is what you get in Swaziland, and what you get in Swaziland is what you get in South Africa. But you can also know what to expect when you get into another country. But what the delays, I can tell you now, the delays are just liquidating our small and medium truckers. So you're going to have yet again another sector that is not transforming, not because people are not there, but because the system itself get rid of them. It just shuts them out. Yeah. So itruck emile nje la njengamanje ilungile ka RFA ilungile because they've got many and they're able to put all the cost into that. But umfana nje wakwaKhumalo emela o ithalela itruck yakhe mhlawumbe uyihirishe nokuyihirisha but uthola umsebenzi imile manje la uvele ngeke iyahamba kusasa kufanele abuyisele emuva.
Yes, ma'am.
So abakhoni, there's a lot of work in the trucking sector for our young people, but these delays and these challenges, it noma ngangena today, the following day kufanele ahambe because abakhoni. So it's not just about, you know, it's also about the opportunities that we're creating for our people, young people. But the delays are extremely costly for them.
Not necessarily responding to your comments, Minister. What I wanted to inform you is that we have also established what is called SMME within SARS, which looks at leveling the playing field, because we are aware of that kind of problem. Thank you.
Richards Bay, yeah, you pay. In order for you to be prioritized for offloading. And I'm talking about small and medium enterprises. They don't even have that money for pay, but they've got to, because the truck can't wait there. They're complaining. Get. The challenge is there.
Minister, as I was indicating earlier, that in the event where the cargo need to be inspected, this is our search bay. This is where we offload most of our exports. We do it here. So until all the papers are in order, then they go through. But what I also wanted to mention is that we are transformed to be number 2 in terms of the volumes. We are chasing Lebombo. This province is the one that's pushing a lot of cargo export. So even Bed Bridge, because of I don't know what's the issue there, but they even divert to use Abu Robles Bridge. But this one, we are and we are the fastest in terms of clearance, because of what he's talking about. The collaboration is very important. Thank you.
Okay. Child trafficking. That is why I'm asking if you are able really to check your cargo, because it's also on the rise. And it's not through OR Tambo Airport. It's through these land ports of entries. So, but from what you are saying, you seem to be saying, no, it doesn't happen here. I'm saying that.
Yeah, maybe if I may respond to Minister's question. Minister, you know, the bigger challenge in that, you know, I've been listening maybe sometimes also on the radios when people are presenting, the issues. But the bigger issue, Minister, is our borderline itself, because the borderline is so porous, such that in some areas there is no fence at all. And the people, they know that this particular area does not have a fence, and it's unfortunate that you can't put human capacity there to police that borderline. At some point, we close those particular, area, they go further and open at another place. But we deploy, SNDF to go, and attend those areas as and when we get, such, information. But, I think, Minister, we even thought perhaps what could assist going forward is to use technology in monitoring our border, fence. So it becomes, quite, a challenge for now, Minister. Thanks.
I agree. Bait Bridge, if you want to know what is happening, go to Bait Bridge. It's not about the borderline. It's Bait Bridge itself. There is a bridge built by South Africa and Zimbabwe. At the center of the bridge, there is like something, that opening that you'll have in your house in order for you to get into the ceiling. It's there on the bridge. They open it. And the good ladder. There's ladder there. They go through that onto the ladder, and then they walk up, they come to South Africa. It happens on the broad daylight, in the presence of everybody, seen by everybody. And nobody has thought about it to say, do we really need this or should we close it? They come, I was there. I saw it myself. So that ladder is hanging. So when somebody has to come in, then it goes down, then they walk through the ladder, and then they walk, then they come to South Africa. You don't know what is in the bag. You just don't know. So Bag Bridge is a nightmare. If you want to be depressed, go to Bag Bridge. Don't go to Bag Bridge during, if there's a long weekend and you want to be with your family, because you'll be depressed. Go when you are busy with other things. It happens right in front of you. And everybody knows about it. Nothing is being done about it. So they come in front of you. They come down the ladder, then they walk to South Africa. Nobody uses that ladder to leave South Africa. No, they don't. So you have people that come to South Africa and they are not known. They commit crimes here at Elukwatini. They can't be found because they are not known that they are in the country. So they do as they wish. You know, if they come in through the borderlines, I will understand that. But at Bait Bridge, it happens on that bridge. It connects South Africa. It's a new bridge, beautiful. Connects South Africa and Zimbabwe. Oh.
Thanks, Minister. Minister, this is called, Sector 2. Actually, Minister, here, it's actually right at the exit, as you can see, is to exit to, Eswatini side. That's where our colleagues, they stop the vehicles just to check whether the vehicle is not, a stolen vehicle. But I will just give over to, Captain Fanyameve, maybe to brief the Minister about what is happening here at Sector 2.
So the truck with this route, Ebesibuya, is on Genala?
No, Minister, it moves that side, on the other side.
Thank you, Minister. Yeah, we've got the two entrances into Swaziland, whereby the trucks is coming in through the left-hand side. The trucks is also being searched by the police. Engine numbers, chassis numbers, everything is being checked. So that we haven't got these false things leaving into South Africa. Here we check all cars that come through. We've got some means of a cell phone device that gives us immediately when whether the car is stolen or not. So then if it shows there's something wrong in the car, we go do further investigations. There is successes according to the scene. We also got the circulation system of the police, where we circulate all vehicles for further, to get further clarity about the vehicle. As police here, we've got, our main problem is the fence. At the border post, everything is controlled here by the police for safety reasons and also for the theft. But the border fence is in a very bad state. And that is where everything passes through the border fence. It's a rural area, it's very bad, but it's difficult to manage to control with the type of fence we've got here. Thank you, ma'am.
No, I'm fine. I'm just observing. No, it's fine. We are just observing, and there is something that you said there about the minutes that you take here in South Africa to inspect a truck, but you did not tell us about Swaziland, the minutes that they are taking to inspect a truck, because sometimes you may have build-ups in South Africa just because of that. When we were dealing with Libombo, they said that in South Africa we're taking roughly close to 3 minutes, and I'm shocked when you are saying here that we're taking 7 minutes. They said it's 3 minutes in South Africa and 10 minutes in Mozambique. As such, you'll have build up because of that problem. So here I don't know this interval, whether it's 7, or is 7 this side and why 7? Meanwhile, in Libombo, we're taking 3 minutes.
Thank you. In terms of our process, if all is well, everything is in order, it should take less than 3 minutes. But for them, because they are collecting on the other side, and also the problem because there's a toll gate, there's a toll fund that you need to pay. So, and there's no segregation on queues. That's what built up the challenge that side. But it should take less than, from their side, less than 10 minutes. Yeah. But what is good is what the port manager has indicated, that in the event that we pick up, we see that there's a challenge, we have a group where we discuss and we address it immediately.
When we visited the border post between US and Canada, one other thing that we observed was the issue of land for the border post. It's big. So just land itself, so that you are able, even for trucks only, you are able to clear others and others. So you've got space for trucks, you've got space for private cars, and so on and so forth. So the land, and as we're walking around here, I wonder if this was to be upgraded, will you have enough land for that? Because I think it will be important. This is too small, but very busy border post, a very busy border post. So that's what I observed as well. SANRAL has a program of identifying areas for truck stops, and they are coming up with a sample of what a truck stop must look like and must have. I'm just looking around there to say,
Yeah, maybe if I can, respond to Minister. Minister, really, that is, it's very true, Minister, because when we engage also with SANRAL, but they indicated that there's a team that is dealing with the land acquisition. Though I may not be so sure as to, in terms of reimbursing some of those who built permanent structures, because previously we had engagement, Minister, with the tribal authority through the office of the Public Service Commissioner. Ubaba Mkhwanazi was assisting us to say, to engage the tribal authority to say, next to the border, nobody should build a permanent structure, so that in the event the border is going to be upgraded, it will be easier for them to remove the checks and be reallocated somewhere. Because, Minister, you are quite right. It creates a problem. It's a frustration for us. In the event we've got a truck that we need to detain at the port, we do not have that detaining facility. And it poses a serious problem for us because of the lack of space and facility. But we hope that with the redevelopment and the redesign of the port, it's not going to be done by people seated under the aircon in the rotating chair. We will also be, conducted at some point to input, because because at some point, because the fear, Minister, is that if we are not, inputting on that, a design will be made, say, for example, for argument's sake, somewhere in Pretoria, but when it comes to, practicality, we will find that it is not actually what we want, to have. One other issue, Minister, whilst we are talking about that, on the redevelopment issue, we raise issue as well as PMC. PMC is a port management committee to say, when we are redeveloping the port, let us also have behind, our mind, the issue of one-stop, border posts in the future, to say, in the event we are going, to the one-stop border, we need not actually to start, again, reinventing the wheel. So we need to start, taking that, into consideration. The other biggest issue, Minister, that we sit with, in this, port, which we hope will also be addressed, is the issue of network. Network is a problem at the port. We try to, engage several, service providers, your Telkom, your Vodacom, and MTN. And we even said maybe what we need to, migrate to, if we can be assisted with fiber, to connect with fiber, so that at least the turnaround time, it becomes at least, quicker. Because now, the challenge that we are sitting with, when there's load shedding, you sit, without, network connectivity, and it poses a security risk for the port and the country at large. Thanks, Minister.
I'm sorry. Minister, there's one thing that just one question I want to ask. There's the issue of reciprocation of cross-border charges. It's unfair that, we got charged when, coming to Swaziland. And the same is not actually done from people traveling, to our country from Swaziland. So this issue of closing, that gap, and it's important. I just need really a comment on that, because it has been troubling me, because this differentiated treatment between, South Africans and Swaziland, and people are asking us, this is unfair, to have that. Any comment on that?
Yeah, I think with that, we try to understand as to why in our site we are not charging, the road toll. The excuse that we get is that on the South African side, we've got toll gates. And inside Swaziland, there are no toll gates. But I think Minister will be, better placed, actually to deal with that.
I knew that you're going to say that. I know for sure that it definitely is not within your competence, because it is not only applicable here, it is applicable in other border posts as well. And it's a matter that we're discussing at the BMA Interministerial Committee with National Treasury, because National Treasury must agree to us collecting that, because it will be yet another whatever, whether it is a tax or whatever, but it must agree. But I think we do need to reciprocate. What you're talking about here is nothing compared to what is happening in other countries, in other border posts. It's, yeah, our trucks pay when they go to other countries like never before. In DRC, there is a toll plaza and toll gate that they pay 1,000 US dollars, not 1,000 rand, US dollars. Then you can convert that into rands. That would be something like 17,000 rand as you pass through. You don't have that in South Africa. Even if you combine, you don't have that. But if that was all, it would have been better. That is a formal toll gate. There are others where just somebody put a road on the road and it's a toll plaza and you must pay. They charge anything, depending on how they feel on that day. So these are the things that are happening and things that we're trying to harmonize in the SADC region. And to the extent our truckers are saying we need to reciprocate. But even if you want to reciprocate, you can't reciprocate to such an extent that you say people must put roads on the road. We can't deteriorate to that level. So these are the things that they get experience, but we're trying our level best. And that is why we are taking the SADC work very seriously. I'm going to Tanzania just this coming week because we want to be there. There are quite a number of things that they're saying that are not that good for South Africa. They're proposing increasing the weight of trucks from 9,000 kilograms, to 10,000 kilograms. We're saying, but for South Africa, that will be bad. It's going to kill our roads. But there's push, hard push towards that. We have a lot as a country, if we allow it to happen. But sometimes the push is such that people want us to feel like we think, or other people to think that we think we're better as South Africa. But we've got road infrastructure that we have to protect. So you've got those issues. So reciprocating is yes, but sometimes not practical. Yeah. But on these issues that we're talking about, we are engaging a national treasurer to say maybe on this one, maybe on this one, maybe on this one. This road is not tolled. N17, not from here up to ML, it's not tolled. It is tolled beyond on the other side. And if somebody is actually driving to Emelo and then will proceed on the N11, N11 is not tolled. N2 up until Richards Bay, it's not tolled. So yeah, it's a matter that we might have to discuss. Okay.
I'm so happy, Minister, that you have addressed this in the manner that you have addressed it. Because this issue of harmonization is an issue. And I'm glad that you're actually looking into it. And also, Minister, with Border Management Authority, we've got a protocol with them. And that protocol is important that it's actually serviced. That's why we've invited the Commissioner of the Border Management Authority in our strategy, actually, on the 18th, so that these issues of that actually affect us, actually discussed in that way. More especially the protocol signed between our CEO and as well as the Commissioner, so that we see that it's working. So that don't work in silos between the Border Management Authority and cross-border. So it's going to close those gaps. Thanks so much, Mr.
An interesting one. AMA fines those foreigners. They just go through AMA infringement funds. They're not paying. You just live with them. Something that the integration must also include them.
In Swaziland, when they fine you, you pay there and there.
On the spot.
On the spot, you don't leave. If there is an accident, somebody bumps onto your car, and they will come and check if it is not you who is wrong. If it is yourself who is wrong, you pay on the spot. But if it is them who are wrong, then they let you go. They just disappear and let you go.
No, thanks, Minister. I think the other side is just a reverse process. Yes, Minister. Yes, Minister. Thank you, Minister. Yes, it's a mosque, Minister. It's a mosque. You know, when Minister Lindiwe Zulu came, because she crossed a lot here, she stopped here and she asked me, why did you allow that, a mosque to be built?